So I've hit the halfway point now in my radiation treatment. Long ago, I've completed the first portion of the chemotherapy. And along the way, I've met people who you wouldn't even think should have cancer. And then what has struck me is the incredible positivity of some people, but also incredible, let's call it timidity, shyness, where people just, they're still positive, but they don't want to be open about it. And because of that, I actually put a post out a while ago, several days ago. It's a quote by Einstein, basically saying, summing it up, that a worthwhile life is one where you have made a difference in other people's lives, where you've affected other people positively. And I stand by this. It's so important to make a difference. That's, we search for what gives us meaning. Why are we here? What are businesses about? Now, if you go and talk to a hard-boiled business person who has a very 1980s, 1970s type mindset, yes, it's about production. And productivity is important, don't get me wrong. But in so doing, you are changing the lives of people. You are affecting the lives of people, and hopefully positively. You're giving families close to wear, roof over their heads, food on the table. Not always do people feel that they're entirely happy, etc., but you have affected them positively. Okay. Now, the way I approach it is different. I want to add that personal aspect to it, and we see it in sales all the time, and that's really what my approach is, my post is about. You can't do business as easily today if you don't have a relationship with someone. And I'm not talking about knowing them intimately and knowing their family and all of that. It's about understanding who you are dealing with and treating them as a person, not as an object. Treating them as someone who you inherently care about at a certain level, and not just want to take their money, get your products into their face. It's about finding solutions that help them, that make them feel more worthwhile, make them feel more productive, and help with their mandate within the organization as well, which makes it far more complicated. And unfortunately, not everyone feels that way, but that's your prerogative. What I don't understand is when people get offended or upset or defensive with an approach like that. It doesn't make sense to me, and quite frankly, it's just about mindset. And there are fortunes of ways to go about it. And if I take a look at I'm going to give a practical example of what I'm experiencing, but I'm sure fortunes of other coaches are experiencing at the moment as well, particularly if you advertise or you post on social media and especially Facebook. So when I started posting a lot more on Facebook about EQ coaching and what we do, about the type of coaching that we really focus on, the stress, burnout, helping people in leadership positions, management positions in companies, engage their employees, make them feel that they are wanted. I was inundated, absolutely inundated with every Tom, Dick and Harry from around the world. I had people from the United States, from England, the UK, other parts of Europe. I've had people from all over Africa, South Australia, and that whole region, and a lot from the Philippines, who approached me. Do I want a virtual assistant? Do I want an appointment setter? Do I want someone to close for me? Do I want all of these services? Some of them at reasonable rates, some of them at absolutely insane rates. But what got me was how some of them just wanted to herd me like a sheep into a kraal, into a pen, and that was this 15-minute meeting. That 15-minute meeting would be to try and sell to me, but hard sell. They knew nothing about me, and I'll give you a perfect example in a moment of that. But before I get there, there was others who had actually gone and read my posts, who understood what I do, what Tamara and I do, what EQ is about, why we would want to do it. And they try to approach it from that perspective. In many cases, they don't understand what $5,000 a month literally means 100,000 Rand, just about, per month, and what that equates to, because they're coming from Europe, the United States, etc. And while that's an affordable sort of rate, that is what a Fortune 500 company in South Africa would possibly be paying a small brand house for certain things. But generally, you try and get it lower. But in one particular case, the company seemed really legit. They contacted me. We made an appointment. It was an Australian business. The appointment setup was good. She had done her work. Okay. And she got me into a meeting. This was right near the beginning. One of the probably 60 or 70 appointment setters who contacted me, maybe even more, in the past, I'd say 5 months, 6 months. And the appointment was to be with the CEO. Now, they were an Australian business, so we were going to meet at 8 o'clock in the morning, online, Teams meeting, got the appointment, agreed, done. And I'm there at 8 o'clock promptly. I'm always early. I'd rather I wait for my clients or for the other person than they have to wait for me. 8:05, 8:10. By 8:20, I'd had enough. No one had arrived. I cancelled the meeting. And then I suddenly get a phone call from Australia. I pick it up, and it's the CEO. He wasn't an Australian national. He happened to be from another country. I don't really think it's pertinent which country. But the first thing that he said to me was, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I never made it. I hadn't checked your website. I hadn't looked at what you were doing. But then I saw that you're South African, and all South Africans want are money or a job." And my response to that, I can be very forward, was, okay, so you've now just offended every South African, blankly. That's just unacceptable. I said, we can't do business. Finished. And then he was trying to tell me, no, but I see that you're a legit company. You work. What you do is excellent. I said, the damage is done. You didn't have the decency to even consider taking a look at my website, never mind finding out more about what my needs may be. And that for me is the problem. And that's a case where it's all about just herding sheep into a pen, as opposed to understanding. I'd taken the time to see what he was doing, what he was selling, how he had structured his business, if they were genuine or not. And that for me is a huge problem. And that is something that we need to move away from rather than move towards. relationships are key, not herding people into pens like livestock.